Good morning, my friends. Hope this Thursday finds you well. I'm out here in my yard again, and you can tell it's starting to get hot because the grass is turning yellow, and it's going to become a fire hazard. I got to get it cut. So, special book today, though. I'm wearing my Lowriders de Fresno jersey of the Divertido series. We love the Fresno Grizzlies. That's super fun. We miss them and hope they get to come back and play soon. This is a really special book by Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor, Sonia Sotomayor. She actually is a diabetic, which means she has sugar in her blood and she needs to take insulin and medicine. She found that out when she was a child. I'm a diabetic too, actually, so I don't have to take shots, but I still take medicine. But this book's called Just Ask, and it really talks about how different we are as people. It's written by Sonia Sotomayor, our Supreme Court Justice, and illustrated by Rafael Lopez. The publisher is Philomel Publishing right there. On the back it says, "Each of us grows in our own way," on the back cover. So let's look. Here's the title page, Just Ask. And the subtext is, be different, be brave, be you. That's good, right? Be different, be brave, be you. And here's a letter to the actual people reading the book. And if you're okay with it, I'm going to read this letter to you. So this is Justice Sonia Sotomayor. She says, "I was born on June 25th, 1954. And in 1961, when I was 7 years old, I was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. To take care of myself, I had to do some things that other kids did not. Sometimes I felt different. When kids saw me giving myself a needle shot of insulin, my medicine, I knew they were curious about what I was doing, but they never asked me, they never asked my parents or my teachers about it. I also often felt like they thought I was doing something wrong. As I grew older, I realized there are many ways to be, that I was not alone in feeling different. I wanted to write this book to explain how differences make us stronger, but in a good way. Like my experiences with diabetes, the challenges some kids face can be very hard and sometimes very frustrating. Some of us have conditions that require medicine or tools to manage things that other kids don't have to deal with. Some of our difficulties are not even visible to others, but they make us feel different, and we may do things that others don't understand. Yet all of these challenges often give us a strength that others can't imagine. So I hope by seeing yourself or your friends in this story, you'll understand that we are all different, and that you'll find that notion comforting and even empowering, like it's good to be different. I hope, too, that you'll recognize what we have in common. Instead of fearing our differences or ignoring them, we can shed light on them and explore them together. If you ever wonder why someone's doing something different other than some other kids, just ask." It's a really important book to me, too, because I have a son that has spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy, and he's a lovely kid, but most people don't know what to say to him, and so they don't say anything. And Sonia Sotomayor has it right. If you want to know, just ask. It says, "Hi, I'm Sonia. My friends and I are planting a garden. Gardens are magical places. Thousands of plants bloom together. But every flower, every berry, and every leaf is different. Each has a different smell, different color, different shape, and a different purpose. Some flowers need lots of sunlight, others thrive in the shade. Some need to be trimmed regularly, and others are better off left alone. Some trees and flowers are more fragile, and others are more hardy. You know, kids are all different too. Some of us are in a hurry, and others take more time. Some of us seem shy and quiet, and others are chatty and loud. Some of our differences are easy to spot, and others take longer to notice. Each of us grows in our own way. So if you're curious about other kids, just ask." Right? It's a good idea to just ask. Not everyone is comfortable answering questions about themselves, but I don't mind. What am I doing? Several times a day, I prick my finger to measure the sugar in my blood. And I give myself shots of medicine called insulin. I do this because I have diabetes and my body doesn't make insulin naturally like other people's. Even though this can sometimes hurt, I gather all of my courage to do it in order to be healthy. Do you ever need to take medicine in order to be healthy? Maybe you do. There's young Sonia right there giving herself her insulin medicine. And this is Rafael. This is the guy that illustrated the book. It says, "I do. My name is Rafael and I have asthma, which means I sometimes have trouble breathing. When that happens, I take a break, and I use an inhaler with medicine that helps make breathing easier. Quiet time helps me slow down and catch my breath. My inhaler is like a tool to help my body. Do you have a tool that you use to help your body? Maybe you have asthma. It's really common in Fresno for kids to have asthma. A lot of kids have it." So, anyway, Raphael's a good artist. You can tell he did a good job on the illustrations in this book. "I'm Anthony. I use a wheelchair to get around. Even though I can't run with my legs, I can go super fast. How do you get from place to place? Maybe you move differently through space. If you want to know about a wheelchair, just ask. My name's Madison, and I use my guide dog, Lucky. He helps me get places safely because I'm blind. My friend Arturo is blind too, but he uses a cane to get around. Even though we can't see, we strengthen our other senses and notice a lot of details others may miss. We can hear with our ears, smell with our noses, and feel with our hands. How do you use your senses? So those young people are visually impaired. So they have tools and strategies and even a dog to help them get where they need to go and do what they need to do. I'm VJ. I learn around the world. I learn about the world differently because I can see, but I can't hear. Excuse me. I'm deaf. You don't want to sneeze in the COVID-19 world. I'm fine. Most of the time I communicate with people using my face and hands through sign language. It's cool to know another language. I love it. I have two friends that help me a lot that when I speak on behalf of the district, they stand behind me and they put what I'm saying translated into sign language. It's awesome. Super, super cool. I also love reading and writing. What about you? I'm Blanca and I have dyslexia, so I have to work really hard and take my time when I'm reading and writing words. Sometimes I use a computer program to help me. I love learning by doing things. My imagination is full of ideas and I'm very good at making art from the pictures I see in my mind. Dyslexia is a way that when your brain translates what goes into your hand and you do writing, it can get confused sometimes, so she has to work at it really hard. But it doesn't stop her from doing art. It says, are you really good at doing something? What are you good at? If you're not really thinking, I'm not really good at anything, try something on this COVID-19. Play the ukulele. It's really fun. Learn about tacos. That's good too. My son is now going to Japan, so he's starting to learn Japanese. So it's exciting stuff. I'm great at dinosaurs. I know all about them. I'm Jordan and I have autism. Well, here's Jordan. Organizing and counting all my toy dinosaurs again and again makes me feel calm. My classmate Tiana also has autism, but it's different for her. She doesn't talk, but I like to talk. I especially like to talk about dinosaurs. What do you like to talk about? So these two young people both have autism, which is a communication difference. But even them, they communicate differently. I love the dinosaurs around the outside. Can you see? The plants are actually dinosaur faces. Isn't that cool? Good job, Raphael, on the art. For me, listening comes more easily than talking. I'm a really good listener. My name is An, and I speak with a stutter, so sometimes I repeat a word or I get stuck when I try to say it. Sometimes it takes me a little longer to express myself, and sometimes I'm too shy to talk, but I understand everything that's going on. Do you ever wonder if people understand you? When I was little, I stuttered a little bit, and one of my kids did too. That was why I started singing, because when I sang, I didn't stutter at all. But you know, some people learn differently. It's just that way. I do. My name is Julia. Sometimes I wiggle or I make sounds I can't control because I have Tourette's syndrome. People may look at me funny because they think I'm not paying attention or just acting out, but it's not true. I'm listening. I don't always like having to explain. It frustrates me, but it helps when I tell people it's just what my body does. What about you? Do you ever feel frustrated? Sometimes when we feel frustrated, we act in different ways. Just ask. My name is Manuel. I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It's also called ADHD. I get frustrated when I can't really feel the need to move. I get frustrated when I really feel the need to move around, even though I'm supposed to sit still. That can be really hard. When my teachers and friends are patient with me, when I forget something or get distracted, I can get myself back on track. So what's helpful for you? Hopefully your friends know you well enough to know how to help you. ADHD is hard. It's like you can be really busy. I'm Nolan. It's helpful to me when the food I eat has a clear label that says it's nut free because I am allergic to nuts. They can make me so sick I have to go to the hospital if I ate any, even by accident. So I always have to tell people about my allergy and ask if anything has nut ingredients. Speaking up helps me keep healthy. How do you use your voice? It's important to tell people what the story is about you, right? It's okay to talk about yourself a little bit. I love to sing and I love to talk and I love to make new friends and be included. I'm Grace. I was born with Down syndrome. Kids like me with Down syndrome have an extra building block called a chromosome in our bodies. But we are all different from each other too. I can do almost anything any other kid can do, though learning new things can take some time. One way I learn is to ask questions. How do you learn? Like, I'm an auditory learner. If I hear stuff, I can sometimes remember it. Like, I can remember song lyrics and stuff like that. Some people are visual learners. Like, I want to see the thing. Everybody's different like that. Do you know what your learning style is? If you're not sure, just ask your teacher. They'll know. It's me, Sonia, again. I ask questions too. When something seems difficult or new, I just ask my parents or my teachers and they help me to understand, especially if my friends don't feel ready to explain. This is what I've learned. Imagine if all the plants in the garden were exactly the same. Like, what if we could only grow peas? That would mean no strawberries, no cucumbers, no carrots. It would also mean no trees, no roses, no sunflowers. Just like in our garden, all the ways we are different make our neighborhood and our whole world really more interesting and fun. That's true. It's good to be different. People don't like it. I don't want to be different than you, but different is good. And just like all of these plants, each of us has unique powers to share with the world and make our world more interesting and richer. What will you do with your powers? And that's the end. So that's cool. So some kids live differently and some kids have different challenges, but it takes all of us to make up this world. And if you're not sure about it, it's okay to just ask, right? We all are different and we all learn differently and we all grow differently and we need different things to be successful. And that is actually pretty awesome. Thanks. Have a great Thursday.